What's going on, everybody? I'm DJ Sixsmith. You're watching The Sit Down. Second half of the baseball season is coming back. Dominic Smith, the New York Mets, is here. What's up, Dom? How are you, man?
Doing?
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
So you got a lot of stuff going on in your life right now. Why don't we wind it back? Take me back to being in California, getting into baseball for the first time. How did that all happen?
Yeah, I started playing baseball around the age of 7. Up until that point, I played basketball and had a good time enjoying that. And when I turned around 7, we had a little summer in basketball season, even during the summer. So my mom asked me if I wanted to try a new sport, and I said, of course. And it just so happened to be baseball. And from that day on, at 7, I love baseball, and I didn't want to play another sport. I dropped basketball. I never played football, and I just stuck with baseball.
Well, how was your game on the basketball court?
I'm pretty decent.
Yeah.
I can do a little bit.
Still hoop a little bit?
Still hoop. When I can.
Yeah, a little busy right now.
A little busy right now, but I try to get out there and, shoot around a little bit, run some point guard action, and try to find my teammates.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you're 7 years old, you're starting to do the baseball thing. When do you realize, like, wait a minute, I'm really starting to get good here?
I think around, like, Little League age, around 12. Just playing Little League with some of my best friends and, making an all-star team and just kind of being a dynamic player in Little League. And, you go to all-stars and you start playing against different regions and different areas and cities and eventually different states. And you start to realize that your team is pretty good and you're like one of the best players on the field. So I kind of noticed that around 12, but it made me more passionate and made me really want to work hard at the game because I just fell in love with it.
So a little bit after that, you get into high school, and people are just trying to figure things out in high school. You got to figure out if you're going to be a professional baseball player or go to college.
Yeah.
How did you deal with all that?
It was pretty fun. I came from South Central LA, and I was blessed because a bunch of my friends I played Little League with, we ended up going to high school together, and we all shared a common goal and a common passion, and that was baseball. And we wanted to use baseball as far as we could, and we knew that baseball could get us out of LA, and we can go to college and further our education, or preferably or possibly get drafted as well. So I think us knowing that at a young age made us really driven and determined to make those dreams happen. And like I said, we fell in love with it at a young age, and we just kept pushing each other to get better every day.
So when did the scouts start showing up for you?
They started showing up around our junior year. We had a guy who was a senior whose name was Ron Miller, who got drafted by the Marlins, and he started bringing scouts around his junior year. So they started coming out to practices and started seeing the younger guys out there practicing with him and stuff like that. So the scouts came at a young age for us. So seeing those guys around, we felt like we can make this happen.
So you mentioned you're a South Central kid. You had the opportunity to go to USC. I mean, I'm sure that was a big deal for you. But then the Mets come calling. That's a much bigger deal. Yeah. How did you make that decision ultimately?
It was a tough one. My parents always told me at a young age, they said kids could go around and say that they want to be the president or say they want to be a firefighter or a policeman or a governor. So why can't you grow up saying you want to be a professional baseball player? So they put me in every opportunity to make those dreams happen. And like I said, it wasn't something they really pushed on me. They just kind of helped me and put the right things in my path to take it to the next level. And it was something that I just love to do. And so once they let me know at a young age that I can actually try to achieve that goal, I ran with it every day, and I made it a part of my everyday routine. I wanted to be a professional baseball player at a young age, so I worked, through high school, through middle school to get drafted, and that's something that is just special to me. So
draft night changed your whole life. And I was telling you, I was there that night, and you're just this young kid from LA, and they put you with Darryl Strawberry, and you're there with everybody else. What do you remember about that night?
Yeah, that night was super surreal to me. Yeah. Being a young kid and not knowing how talented you are, or even if it's a possibility. We're from South Central, so to dream that big and to be able to accomplish that is just a dream come true. And like I said, the words can't describe that feeling or that day. And going there with my family was awesome. Being able to just share that moment and hear my name called and just share the moment with my family and all that hard work that I put in, actually finally pay off. you know, it was just a moment I won't forget.
And we were talking too, that draft class was pretty stacked. It's always cool going back and seeing like, Aaron Judge is here, Clint Frazier, a bunch of other guys.
Yeah, I mean, that draft class was pretty awesome. And a bunch of those high school guys, you know, I came up playing with, you know, I'm very happy for them. And, you know, like Clint Frazier and Austin Meadows, J.P. Crawford and Judge and Tim Anderson, Billy McKinney, you know, a bunch of those guys, you know, we came up playing travel ball together in all the big events and the big tournaments. And to get drafted on that day together was awesome. And share a special moment, you know. You build those relationships and friendships and those bonds you never forget.
So your 6-year journey through baseball has been pretty crazy when you think about it.
Yeah.
When you were just making the transition from high school to the minors, what was the craziest thing or the biggest surprise when you got going?
I think the biggest surprise was just, you know, how much baseball you actually play and just the level of competition. You know, you're not used to playing at that level on an everyday basis, and it was pretty tough. You know, the grind of waking up every day early in the morning and getting up and, you know, practicing for 5-6 hours and then going out to play a game in the afternoon right after that. You know, it's pretty tough for a young 17-year-old kid who's, you know, coming from high school, and you're kind of pampered in high school. You know, you don't have as much, you know, downtime to practice or, you know, get the type of instruction that you get in pro ball. And it's kind of a shock when you first get into it. But I say it just takes you a couple weeks to maybe after that first season to kind of get in the swing of things and get your feet under you. And after that first year, you just feel more comfortable. And as years go on, you kind of know what you have to do.
Yeah, and you have to think about your body, your mental health. I know sleep apnea has been something you've had to deal with.
Yeah.
So when did you realize, like, wait, I think I have something I got to deal with here?
It probably started around like AA. You know, I was playing good, but I just woke up tired every day, and I didn't really understand why I can sleep for, you know, 10+ hours, but still wake up tired, woke up exhausted, and quite frankly, I thought that I had, you know, ADD, and I wanted to get that tested because I just felt like I couldn't concentrate on anything, and just so happened that, you know, I was lacking sleep. But I kind of had an idea with sleep apnea. You know, people would tell me that I stopped breathing in my sleep, and throughout the day, if it's a short bus ride or a short car ride to the field, I'm passed out and on the way there.
Just out on the spot?
Just out on the spot. You know, it takes me 2 minutes to fall asleep, you know. So just kind of those signs, you know, really told me that it was something wrong with the way I'm getting sleep and my rest pattern. So the fact that I figured that out, you know, it changed my career, changed my life, changed how I feel, and it's big because people don't know about it, and it's really common in a lot of just regular people. It doesn't have to be a professional athlete.
No,
or
everybody.
If you're overweight, it doesn't discriminate. You know, you can be in shape, you could be out of shape, you could be young, you could be old. So I think it's something that you know, a lot of people need to look into because it can definitely help your life.
Yeah, and speaking of life, I know you've worked with a life coach in the past, and like just dealing with stuff mentally, like there's a lot going on in your life, and you're also a professional baseball player.
Yeah.
So how did you jump into that, and why was it important to just sit down and be like, look, I gotta start to break some of these things down here?
Yeah, I think a lot of it was just over the years, just going through professional baseball and, you know, just getting older and becoming your own kind of person. And sometimes you got to find yourself, and playing in New York, you know, it's tough. You know, the fans, they're very passionate, they're very caring, and they care. And this is the best media market and the best market that you want to ever be in and play in. And you know, that stuff could kind of wear on you, especially as a young player trying to find your way in the big leagues and not knowing if you belong or not. So just going through that whole experience of, you know, failing at a young age and being in the spotlight and just going through those things, you know, I kind of felt like I needed somebody to talk to. You know, you need somebody to vent to, and somebody who's going to help you through these tough times. And I think that's something that a lot of people need and a lot of people lean on, especially in professional sports. And, you know, coming from South Central in the inner city, a lot of times, you know, it's looked frowned upon or looked down upon to go get help or go, you know, get mental health help. And I feel like that's something that we kind of put off and we don't really talk about or really shy away from. And it's something that, you know, doesn't show a sign of weakness. It actually shows a sign of strength when you go and get help. And definitely helped my life.
Yeah, it can be life-changing in a lot of different ways, so it's awesome that you've done that.
Yeah.
So you finally get the big call to the big team. What was it like when you finally got up to the Mets?
It was a whirlwind, and it was crazy for my first couple years. Like I said, just trying to get my feet under me and really understanding if I belong here or if I don't, or just kind of just being on a big stage. It's the first time you're playing in front of 40,000 fans every night. You're traveling, you're playing against the elite of the elite day in, day out, and they don't care about your age. They don't care about what you're going through personally. They don't care if you had a bad night's rest. They don't care if you're
you just gotta
hurt.
perform.
You got to perform,
Yeah.
and that makes it tough. But that's something that you got to learn how to deal with and grind through, and that's something that I really worked on this off season. Now, I feel just more comfortable. I feel like I'm back to myself and what got me here, what got me to the big leagues, and how I play throughout the minor leagues, and just being happy. You have to be happy because at the end of the day, you're playing a child's game, and this is something that you could be grateful for and something you should be grateful for. And, I don't take this game for granted. So I definitely enjoy my time out there, and I try to make the most of it.
You should. That's really good perspective there. Yeah. So when did you feel like you finally belonged?
Probably going into spring training this year.
Really?
I went in camp in great shape, and I just went in with a bunch of my buddies and a bunch of guys, around my age, and we kind of just gelled. We hit it off in camp, and we had a great camp, and I think from then on, and just playing baseball, and like I said, getting back to being happy. That was the biggest thing because it sucked going to the field sometimes, and it was dreadful some days, and it was just some days you just didn't want to go, and now, like I said, I just got my mind right. I got a little bit of help, and I'm happy to, go out there and just play baseball again.
So who are your guys on the squad that you're closest with?
I'm close with a bunch, it's like me and JD and Pete and Squirrel.
Seems like a pretty tight-knit group.
Yeah. And Conforto, Nemo, he's hurt now, but a bunch of guys, and we have some great veteran guys, like Frazier and Cano and Vargy and Jake and Noah. A lot of those guys, those are guys you can learn a lot from, and guys who are really there and teaching us young guys the ropes and showing us, how we should go about our business and how we should prepare and stuff like that. And it's definitely rubbing off on the young kids.
Where were you watching the Derby the other day?
I was just watching that at home.
Yeah? How about the polar bear?
We were going crazy. We were so hyped for him. We wanted him to bring it home. And we're just so happy for him because he works extremely hard. And, he deserves everything he's getting. And, he's such an amazing talent. And for him to go out there and win it for us, we couldn't be more happy for him.
Definitely, and that's your guy, but also you're first baseman, he's playing first base. Yeah. You've had to adjust. The outfield thing has been working out, but I'm sure that's not an easy thing to do initially. How have you handled that?
We're all professionals, and that's one thing that we take pride in, and we feel like we can go out there and do anything, and, we don't want to just be labeled one thing. We even talk about it. We want to be the best baseball player we can be, and I know I can go out there and help the team play in the outfield. I know I can go out there and help the team with my bat. So why just limit us to one spot if we can go help the team in that way? And we just want to improve on every aspect, whether it be base running, whether it be defense, whether it be, just little things that we know we can improve on to make us an essential better player. So we don't really look at those things. We just try to improve on an everyday basis and try to help the team win ball games.
I feel you. So you mentioned it. You got this good young core. You got the veterans. But then you guys are 10 games under 500. And there have definitely been some rough spots this year. So why do you think it's been a struggle this year?
I just feel like we battled a lot of injuries early in the year. Our pitching was hurt a little bit. Bullpen, our bullpen has been hurt, and guys are just trying to figure it out. We're down there competing, and this year is just hasn't been the easiest for us, obviously, and we're just trying to grind through these days every day, and we just got to keep believing and keep grinding every day. That's all I can really say because that's all we do. We go to the field every day, we do our homework, we prepare, and we go out there and compete for 3 hours. And the ball just hasn't rolled our way this half. And we've been in a lot of games though, so we haven't just been getting blown out. We've been in a lot of run games. So we just need to do a little bit more to be on the winning side of those deficits. So we're just going to hit the second half, and hopefully we can get it going early and get on the road.
I mean, you've been through a lot of different baseball seasons. I mean, between everything that's happened on the field, with the manager, the general manager, this one has to be a little bit different from the rest, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's a little different, but it's something that we can focus on. All we can focus on is those 25 guys in those rooms every day, and all we can focus on is going out there and playing hard and trying to get wins. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. It's wins and losses. And if we were in first place, we wouldn't talk about half the things we're talking about now. But
yeah, winning cures all, right?
Exactly. So all we try to do is go out there and win, and we know that the second half is here, and we got to step it up, and we got to win some games.
And on top of that, you're having a really nice year as well. So you mentioned the fact that you're coming into spring training, you're finally feeling good. How have you executed this year? What have been some of the differences?
I think a lot of it is just, like I said, the mental side of the game, and just getting my mind right and just becoming happy again. The sleep apnea machine was a huge help to me with my everyday routine, and now I can go to the field and focus and prepare, and I can lock in during the games, and I just feel great. I just have so much more energy, and I could just go out there and run around all day. And before, like I said, I would just be too tired. So I think that's helped a lot. And like I said, just finding the passion again and the love for the game, and just trying to stick with that. And our core group of guys, we push each other every day to get better. And I think having those young guys pushing each other is the reason why we are able to go out and play and perform on an everyday basis.
And maybe a little coffee as well before the game?
A little coffee,
yeah.
A little coffee, yeah.
What is it, like a nitro
It's
brew?
a nitro cold brew. That definitely gets me going, and I love the caffeine in that, and it's a little trick that helps me out.
I like that. I'm a big coffee guy too. How many cups a day are we talking here?
I get to the field, I'll just have a regular just brewed coffee, and I'll have that when I get there with my meal, and then I'll work out, and we'll go out and take BP, and after that, we start getting ready for the game, and then that's when I drink the nitro brew.
That's when you pop down real quick?
Yeah, that's when I
skip 1 second.
Yeah, exactly. So only 2 cups, but probably get like 400 milligrams of caffeine.
There you go. Have any of the other guys followed suit?
Yeah, a bunch of us do. We have an espresso machine in our clubhouse, so there are guys making cappuccinos all day long, and just brewing their little espresso shots, and guys love it. We play every day, pretty much. So you need to pick me up every once in a while, and we definitely rely on the caffeine.
Definitely. So when you think about your time with the Mets, what have been some of the big highlights in your mind for you?
Just getting called up. Getting called up was obviously a dream come true, and then hitting my first home run at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That one is.
Who was that off again?
Sonny Gray.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So yeah, doing that was pretty sick, and them booing me around the bases was pretty awesome.
It's a real welcome to the bigs moment.
Yeah. 2 years ago when Hurricane Matthew hit Houston, we were there a couple days early.
That's right. Yeah.
So we were able to go out and help for a couple days with the food and with the food banks and getting food for those people out there, and just trying to build a couple shelters and stuff like that out there. So that was pretty cool too. And just season as a whole, just being a part of this season, and just reaching my goal, which was to make the team out of camp, and that was something that wasn't looking too good for me early into the off season. So for me to just continue to fight and grind and believe in myself and make it happen, that was definitely a big highlight for me, and I just look forward to finishing the season strong. Well,
I think the thing I like about your story is that you've just found peace. You realize there's going to be doubters, whether it's fans or critics or all that. You just got to do you.
Exactly.
And that takes a little time to get to that place.
Exactly, and it does. And I feel like a lot of times you can go through my situation and people could say, oh, I need to blame this person or blame that person or point the finger this way. But, like you said, I mean, at the end of the day, you just find peace in yourself, and you just look yourself in the mirror, and you just go improve on whatever you need to improve on, and once you be able to do that, you'll be able to sleep at night and have any worries. So that's where I'm at right now, and I'm just enjoying life.
Definitely. So how about off the diamond? What are some things you like to do? What kind of guy are you there?
I just like to really rest and chill. I'm a big NBA fan, so.
Who's your squad?
Lakers.
So how you feeling about the Lake show?
We'll be all right.
Yeah,
we'll
you feeling
right.
this LeBron AD thing?
Yeah, I think it'll work. You know, I'm torn. I'm sorry that we had to give away some of our young guys. You know, Lonzo was having a good year. He's on the rise. You know, Ingram and Josh Hart. You know, those guys are coming up, and they're young guys. So I mean, I look at sports a little bit differently because I'm a young guy in baseball. Sure. So it's like when I see those guys go through what they're going through, or teams trade them at a young age, you know, I'm kind of torn because I feel like they still have time to develop into, you know, the superstar they're supposed to be. So I'm kind of torn. They had to leave, but I know LeBron and AD would be a good combo, and the league is more balanced now, and it should be fun to see what the Lakers do this year.
Well, thinking about your situation, if you were traded 2 years ago, you're a totally different player now. Exactly. So to judge Lonzo and Ingram and Hart, those guys could be much different playing with Zion. You know?
Exactly.
People don't understand that when they're talking about this stuff.
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting, and to see that Pelican team, you know, they're a young team and they're going to be good. You know, they're going to win some games, they're going to lose some, but if they're able to grow and develop together, they're going to be scary, and that's something that is always valuable, which is a young talent, and you know, that's why you know, it's going to be fun to see.
Definitely. So NBA, what else you got going on?
NBA.
Movies, Netflix, anything like that?
Not really.
No?
My cousin, he likes to watch a lot of Netflix and a lot of movies.
What does he like to watch?
Everything. Like anything you've seen, you know, on Netflix.
He's probably seen.
Oh, he's seen. He's
that guy in the group. He's like, yo, you got to see this.
Yeah, exactly. He's quoting movies. He's quoting lines all day long, and he knows all of them. So it's pretty funny and fun to see him. You know, quote the movie.
It's a good guy to have around.
Exactly, yeah. So when I'm bored, he'll point me in the right direction to watch a movie and stuff like that, because it's tough for me to watch TV shows because of obviously my schedule. But at the same time, you know, I get frustrated with the cliffhangers, endings.
Are people ruining stuff for you?
Or when people ruin stuff for me, and I don't like waiting a week to see.
You want to binge.
I just want to binge, get it over with. But then, like for Stranger Things, you know, they just came out with season 3. And I was talking to him about it, and he said, season 2 been out for over a year and a half, and it's like, I don't want to wait a whole another year to see a new season.
It's a long time. Yeah, because you power through the 8. Like I just started last night. I watched 2.
Yeah.
People out here have already watched them, and I'm like, I can't listen to what they're saying.
You can't. Yeah, so it's tough for me. So I just stick to movies, something that I can watch for a couple hours, and you know, just get the whole story beginning to end.
You seen any good movies lately?
Not lately.
No?
Not lately. I need to. I'm bad on that stuff. I'm a sports guy. Like I just watch sports. I watch Sports Center. I'm the most boring person you guys want to talk to. My cousin hates me because I come home and just turn on Sports Center. He's like, oh man, here we go again. So I literally watch highlights on a loop for like 2 hours, and then I'm like, okay, I got to change this. I got to watch something else.
Something different.
Yeah.
So is that a theme in terms of, like, if I were to look at the clubhouse, like, are most guys going home watching more baseball Sports Center, or are they most guys trying to get away from it?
I'd say it's split 50-50. It's a lot of guys who keep up with baseball, but then it's a ton of guys who have their shows and their movies and their iPads in the locker room watching their stuff. So I just feel like it's just preference, you know, and I just never had the time or patience to just keep watching TV like that. So I just never really got into it.
I feel you. It's not your thing.
Yeah, but I'm not knocking that type of stuff because I've seen a lot of good TV shows. Yeah. I've seen a lot of good movies and stuff that is very interesting, but I just couldn't get into it.
You're on that one-track mind right now.
Yeah, I'm just trying to just get myself right and just keep producing, keep playing well, and get that stuff figured out. I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of a baseball geek right now. So.
I think in due time, you know, maybe just focus on the livelihood, and then maybe there'll be a little more time for Stranger Things.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, right now, like I said, I'm just focused on baseball, and you know, I like checking out the league and seeing what other guys are doing, and just preparing for, you know, the next day.
Well, speaking of young guys, are there some other young guys around the league where you're like, yo, that dude is balling out right now, or that's somebody I'd like to emulate down the road?
I mean, young guys who are balling, you know, for sure. Guys like Kuna, Soto. I get to see those guys all the time in the NL East, and you know, those guys are fun to watch. They're talented young players who can just do everything out there on the field, and just the way they approach their game at such a young age, like their approach, their play discipline and stuff like that, is pretty impressive to watch, you know, at a young age. And seeing those guys a lot, they're talented. You know, David Dahl out there in Colorado is doing this thing, and just guys that I came up with playing against. J.P. Crawford in Seattle is doing well, so just happy to see a lot of guys that I came up with, you know, kind of finding their own and playing up to their potential, and it's just fun to see them do well.
Yeah, and you're falling into that category now.
Yeah, I definitely am. So just got to keep it going for the second half, and hopefully we just get a couple more wins. You know,
yeah, there's a lot of baseball to play.
There's a lot of baseball to play, and you know, I'm confident in that group over there, and this second half should be fun.
And it starts with a big long road trip, right?
Exactly, a big long one. You know, we're going to go to Minnesota. That should be fun. First place team right there, and San Fran and Miami too. So those two clubs, you know, 3 clubs, we just have to grind those games out and see how we do and come back home and get ready for that series.
And like you said, Mets fans are passionate. They're waiting for those wins. I haven't been to a game yet. I got to get out there this summer.
Oh yeah, they're definitely there, supported, and they're passionate, you know, and it's that time of the season where, you know, we can go one way or the other. So it's time for us to start taking care of business and going into the direction that we all believe and know we can go in.
And Mets fans are a little desperate and crazy also. I think they fall in that category as well. I'll say you all just say.
Nah, they're not desperate or crazy. No. They're the best fans in baseball.
Well, Dom, it's been a pleasure. Thanks a lot, man. Good to meet you.
All
right, everybody. We'll see you next time here on The Sit Down.